Today, I want to improve one of my previous drawings, a test of knowledge, skill, to show really how far I've come. But first, I'll need to find a piece to paint over. One that I deem worthy enough. One that is both bad yet good. First up, starting... Wait, I didn't even check. Starting 2 years back, oh my goodness. I'll give a little bit of my thoughts for each, well not each piece, but some of these pieces. And all I gotta say is, there was an idea, there was effort. This was a draw this in your style prompt that I never submitted. This is nicely rendered for the most part. I just feel like those eyes could be a little bit more saturated, and that hair looks flat, it looks like buns. Oh jeez, this is so scary. There's so many white spots, there's so many problems, there's so many areas that didn't fill in properly. This went pretty well. A lot of problems to it though. Contender for being the one I redo. The eyes is definitely the best part about this. I'm not gonna redo this one though. Oh, I could definitely redo this one. The hair, oh my goodness. Alright, now that I've started this, it's time to make some changes. I have the original reference for this, but I will not be using it. What? Okay, why is this on 2 different layers? First thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna start merging stupid layers. Oh, the reference is right here, which I will not be looking at. Oh, there was my trace of the reference. I'm gonna delete it. So some of the things I'm really gonna work on is the rendering on this. The background looks fine. I'll make very minimal changes to it, but this looks very muddy and there's a bunch of empty areas. Didn't seem like I had any clue what I was doing at the time. Yep, so I'm just gonna hop on to it. Yeah, I definitely feel like her eyes are a little bit too wide open now looking at it, and the eyebrows are a little too high up. Yeah, I think that's better. And also the eyes are not on the same level. One eye is definitely higher than the other. Now her face is too long. Yeah, I definitely think that's a fix. One thing was I was clearly afraid to use more hard colors, and things were kind of blended, but very poorly. So it made everything look muddy. My new favorite word, muddy. And a lot of my shading was quite flat back then. I didn't truly understand how dark something needed to be in order for it to be like a pretty dark shadow. But now I understand it a lot more. If it needs shadow, you probably should go darker than you're actually thinking. Okay, now these lips. Gotta go. Here is good, but yeah. Also, given the darkness of the lips, this should definitely be darker. So as of right now, I'm working from big to small and really fixing up this very muddy look here by doing very simple blocking. The way I like to draw hair is in triangles. Kind of like how folds work. If you look at a lot of folds, a lot of it tends to be triangles. I don't know the exact reason for it, but I have a guess. It's probably because the triangle is the strongest shape. There's not a shape stronger than a triangle. So then folds and the hair tends to form triangles. Yeah, my hair does have an extremely cel-shaded look to it. I think my next approach is this hand. For this hand, I'm really just working on smoothing things out and to make this edge right here not so hard, because then otherwise it just makes it look odd. And then bring a lighter color so then it has still the form of the hand. Yeah, the shading is very messy and it seems very low effort. There's a whole bunch of empty areas here. The entire hand cannot be shiny. Not hand, but finger. Like that. It's not how it works. Usually the shiniest part tends to be the knuckle, and then there's a shadow somewhere. So the fact that the entirety of the finger is the same lightness, I don't believe it. Now, there's two major things I need to work on. Sweater and background. And then finishing touches plus where to start with this. Because this is... I gotta redo everything when it comes to this. First thing. Smoothing this entire thing out. I'm making everything cel-shaded. Sometimes I really like it when my shading looks really unrefined. Especially since, like, depending on your smoothness of your shadows, or not your shadows, but if you're rendering, it gives something a texture. So if it looks more squarish and it looks more unrefined, it gives it a certain rougher texture. But then if you give it like very smooth shading, then it has more of a like smooth, softer texture. Like it looks softer. Booyah! Microphone needs to be brought into my face until the point where I'm eating it. One thing I would say that is important is like you don't want to get too stuck up on the details. Once you don't know what to do anymore, it's probably either time for you to take a break or it's pretty much done and there's nothing else you should do. And it's kind of just a waste of time if you keep on like going on it. I think there should be a fold here. So I'm just gonna add one. Even if it doesn't make 100% sense, I'm still gonna add it because it makes it look more interesting, because right now it's looking a bit flat. Bro, I just realized I was paused this entire time. Since I was paused, I'll recap what I went over. So, a couple things I did here. I added a bit of shine onto the countertop over here, or whatever it is. I added a bit of light to it, so give it a little bit shiny look. Added shadow behind it so that it doesn't look like it's the wall. Added these light streaks so that it's more apparent that it's a mirror, even more than before. Now I am truly finished, and now I can compare it to the original. And you can see the changes I've made. For one, I fixed proportions of the face. I made it both shorter. I fixed the shading on the face, especially around the nose and eyes. Really smooth things out. Another thing I fixed is the softness of the hair. Like it looks very rushed in the original one. It looks extremely rushed. On the second one, I took more of my time. I thought more about the strands. And then I also fixed the clothing. Same problem as the hair. It's very rushed, unrefined, very muddy. I refined it a lot here. Increased the contrast with the shadows. I also fixed the background. There wasn't a whole bunch of changes to make because it's the background. I wasn't given a whole lot of information. So I just went off what little I had here. This is a whole 2-year difference. It's not particularly insane. And in the upcoming 2 years, I would like to make more improvement than this. Not like to. I will make more improvement than this in 2 years. And then maybe I'll come back to this same drawing 2 years later and be like, oh yeah, I see the problems here. Let me just fix it up. and then like I'll have like a video just like, the one from 2 years from now, the one from today, and the one from 2 years ago. And it's just like, so as you can see in the original, here was all the mistakes, and then you can see the ones that I fixed in that one, and then here's the ones that I fixed now. That'll be fun. But that'll be all.